month we mail this dated looking city press that few people read. And by the time it comes out, it's already outdated. Because unlike regular newspapers, the deadline was 2 months earlier. So certainly not fresh. It's not fresh news. And and we have, the city website that only a handful of people use. The city puts out things on Facebook and very occasionally on Nextdoor. But again, the vast majority of people in this city are not on Facebook and are not on Nextdoor. The perception, if you are on social media, is that everybody is. They're not. They're not. A lot of people in this city hate social media, want nothing to do with it. A lot of people don't even use email regularly except for a small group of their friends and family. So we miss reaching and interacting with a whole lot of people. So that's what I have worked hard on, getting out, having a lot of town halls, going out in person, going into neighborhoods, going everywhere I can go, and just spending time talking to people, answering questions, and trying to get people hooked into sources where they can hear and stay up with kind of the decisions being made in the city. So my biggest claim to fame as far as running for mayor is I have a track record of getting things done. I have never made a bunch of inflated campaign promises. As far as I can tell, everybody else does, and it's tempting. But I don't believe in that, because the way that it works, we are a deliberative body of 9, the mayor and 8 council members. Nothing happens unless you get a majority of at least 5 to agree to something. So I, as mayor, cannot say, I will, for instance, I'll solve the homeless problem. Boy, you'd be rich if you did that. Right. Cool. I'll personally bring a hospital to Garland. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? There's a lot of knowledge. I will personally bring developers and make sure this and this and this. No, you won't. No, you won't. You can say, I will work toward a lot of things, but making those kind of brash claims, that's just lying. And so I don't do that, and I never have. But what I have done is I have said what my priorities are, the things I'm going to focus on, and then I get them done. And so I am the only one running for mayor right now that actually has a track record of accomplishments. And they're real accomplishments, and they're things I initiated and I led. These aren't just, for the last 6-7 years, we've been working on the 2019 bond program. So, I could say, I did, and I could just take credit for all these bond projects. Well, I didn't initiate each one of them. That's us. That's an us thing, okay? So I don't do that, but I'm sure hearing a lot of that. So here is what I can commit to, and this is what I've committed to since the first time I ran for council. I will keep you informed. So in every way possible, I've done everything but skywriting. I will do my darndest to keep you informed about what's going on in this city in time for you to speak up and have something to say. I will solicit your input, and I do solicit your input. I say, if you like this, if you don't like this, talk to me. If you have an idea, if you have a better idea than our idea, talk to me. And that was, when I first ran, I think I had a tagline of your voice counts, talk to me. And people did. And so some of my best accomplishments have been not my ideas. They came from the community. And it usually came like, why couldn't we do this? And I was like, we can, and I worked on it, and we did it. One of those things was the Juneteenth event, which just about every city but us has been celebrating Juneteenth for some years, which is a significant Texas holiday, and it means a lot to some of our community. And so a group of people came to me, and when I was out minding my own business at some other event, and they said, why doesn't Garland do a Juneteenth celebration? I mean, we keep doing these little celebrations at church and everything. And I said, well, and so I took it to council and I advocated for it. That has become one of our most popular annual events now. And that was just a simple citizen request. I had a citizen come to me about our neighborhood improvement program. This is Neighborhood Vitality Matching Grants, which is a really cool program if you have funds to match, okay? So what this was doing, this is a program where neighborhood organizations, HOAs and neighborhood associations can submit an application for funding to improve their neighborhood. And it can be everything from, an entryway thing to like a monument at the entry to your neighborhood, to little sign toppers that are decorative, to barbecue grills, nice. Benches.
That's nice.
I mean, it has been a lot of very creative things. And the problem was, the way the program was set up, it required matching funds. So you know who was getting, and you could get matching funds up to $100,000 every 5 years. Well, guess who was getting all those improvements? The wealthy HOAs. The wealthy HOAs. They had dues, they could match those kind of funds, and they were getting $100,000 every 5 years to fancy up their already fancy neighborhoods, which is well and good, but we have a lot of neighborhood associations that do not have dues and don't have money for dues, and they were getting a big nothing because they had no funds to do it. So I went to council and kind of raised my voice a little and stomped my feet and all that kind of stuff, and I convinced them that we needed to make a way for neighborhood associations that don't collect dues to participate in this program. So what we have now, and it's working beautifully, regular neighborhood associations that don't have mandatory dues can get up to $10,000 a year in neighborhood improvements without a single penny matching.
Wow.
This is free, $10,000 a year, free money to improve a neighborhood. So you have to apply, you have to follow the rules so we did away with some of the organic materials like trees and shrubs and flowers, which used to be fun, but after February 2021, when everything died in the freeze, we've stopped using tax dollars for organic materials. But we do a lot of hardscaping, we do a lot of monuments, and I also had speed humps put back into that program. Speed humps, again, who in the city was getting speed humps? It was the neighborhoods that had money, because it's a partnership that each one costs about $1,500. City pays half and the homeowners pay half, and you have to do a petition. So you go around your neighbors who all want a speed hump because crazy people are, blasting down the street, and you say, are you willing to sign this to get a street hump? And they go, yes. Okay, you're gonna have to chip in a couple $100. No. So nobody was getting them. So now with this program, as long as your neighborhood is willing to organize, which is super easy, and we even help you with it, then you can apply and have a street hump put in at no charge, because that's part of the grant to improve your neighborhood, because it does. All right, our sidewalk repair.
That's the one I was gonna mention.
Oh, sidewalk repair, yes. This was another citizen suggestion who said, my sidewalk's terrible, and I know the city of Garland has a 50-50 program. I don't have the 50 of the 50-50. I don't have money to do this. And so I took that, I was the chair of that committee, and we went through it and said, okay, well, so now we have a stepped program. Depending, a lot of Garland is in, here's an acronym, CDBG, it's Community Development Block Grant. These are HUD identified areas of generally lower income. And that covers a good bit of everywhere but North Garland. So you have a good chance of being in one of those. If you're in that one of those designated areas, then in addition to the 50%, you can get another, I think it's 15. If you are a senior or disabled, you get more. So if you are in one of those areas and are a senior or disabled, you only pay 10%, and that can also be put out over 3 years. So, $12 a month. It put it within everybody's reach. And so we started having a lot of sidewalks around the neighborhood that were suddenly get fixed because we made it available and accessible to everyday people and not just to a few, okay? So those are some of the kind of things. Reducing costs. I championed successfully the largest tax relief the city has had in decades. We just had a new level of tax relief go in. This was in 2020. It took me 2 years, so that was when I got through a 2% homestead exemption increase and a $5,000 senior exemption increase.
Yes. Loved it.
Yes. Well, do you know, I had to fight like fury because in 2019 I tried to do that and we had council members arguing against it. And it was like, what is the
How can you
Well,
argue against it?
But they did. So I came back the next year and said, last year you all kept saying next year, it's next year. The camera's there, people are watching tonight,
Right.
So we got that done. Well, last year, it was time to bump the senior exemption for sure up because the appraisals because a senior is not a percentage, it's a flat dollar amount. The more appraisals go up, the seniors just fall further and further behind. Homestead, it's a percentage. So if the appraisals go up, the percentage benefit climbs. Seniors are in a very vulnerable position. So last year, I wanted to get a $3,000 or $4,000 bump in the senior exemption. And one of my opponents running for council now was the primary one who argued, slammed it, would not do it. And so this year, there was some changes on council, so we got hi. Come on in. There's food in there though, so come in and get some food and relax.